guys, Ramblin Bob here again. So this is going to be a follow-up to the huge update with my Pecron, our Pecron E2000LFP with the AK stack. The video that I just uploaded. I wanted to add the this part to the other video, and I forgot to add it, so I'm going to put it up as its own video, just so you can see when the system is completely 100% rebooted, refinalized, recalibrated, whatever word you want to use. The system is 100% ready to go and accurate now. So once it reaches 100%, as I was explaining in the other video, you'll see it inch up very, very slowly, and then the height of the voltage is going to be 28.6. That's the top. That's the most that it'll usually allow this to go in. Every once in a while you might see 28.7, at least I do on my system, but it's a very, very short time, and what that is maybe a power spike. But topped off, when it has charging from any source, whether it's solar or AC, I see 28.6, kind of like I showed you in the last video there. So now that you see the system is 100%, okay, I'm using about 215 watts, 220 watts. You know, it'll fluctuate because I have fans on and I have lights on, and all the other stuff is running. My TV's on, my laptop's running, so this will fluctuate just a little bit. And you could run that amount of power for this amount of time. So now that the system is completely recalibrated and it understands, oh, that's a full battery load, I get it now, and that's an empty, now it can keep track of it. It's whenever you bring in energy either from the batteries with this system, it loses track of what the heck is going on. Remember, Pecron fixed this in the E2000LFP. My friend Jason on his channel tested that one already, and he had phenomenal results with that system, because things like when you hook the batteries up, it recalibrates on the fly. You don't have to wait like this. I think that's a huge update. Just that alone, where I had to wait approximately 1 hour, maybe a little bit longer, for this to recalibrate and resettle and figure out and think about life or whatever it was doing, to figure out, oh, I'm at 100% now I understand. It's kind of like understanding a new language. It takes you time to comprehend what's going on, except in this thing, this is a power meter understanding the voltage is full, so it's got to kind of adjust the language, if you will, or the understanding to say, oh, it is full. Okay, I was misinformed. Now I'm properly informed. Okay, so I wanted to show you the best part, and this is, guys, I'm so happy. Hopefully you can hear the excitement in my voice. This is awesome. Thank you again, Pecron, for sending me this board. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So if you look at the DC out is 6 watts. What I'm doing right now is I'm charging with a little USB into the GoPro 7 Black camera. That's what I film on. I don't have fancy rigs and all that stuff. I just have a little GoPro. It's just a little, like a mom and pop channel, if you will, and we have fun with this, and we all learn technology. Okay, so that's where that 6 watts is going. The rest of this is going into, let's see, a light that's powering the light so you can see in here for the video, a fan, a laptop, 2 TVs, a 65-inch TV and a 32-inch TV. A security system is hooked to this as well. That way, if the grid drops, the security system goes 24 hours a day for, as you can see, easily more than a day. If the TVs were off, it would go possibly 2 to 3 or 4 days, because the security system is very low. So if we knock out all the excess stuff and just run a security system off this, 8 kilowatts at about 40 watts an hour, do the math, holy cow, you'd be there for weeks. But watch this. This is the coolest thing. So when a battery settles, a full 100% full battery is 26.7. That's called resting voltage. That means it's settling. It doesn't have that spike of charging, and it settles down. Excuse me. So when you see 26.7, now it's good. That's like a what, 12.8 on a car battery. That's a great battery, right? And now the other one, watch this. Drum roll, guys. Here we go. I haven't seen it yet. Okay, so let's see. We're going to turn on the voltage. Look at that, guys. 120 volts, and it'll fluctuate a little bit. Power factor is going up and down, but look at that, guys. I get 120 volts on my old original first generation. This is probably the first run that they made. And I updated the board, thanks to Pecron, from 110 volts to 120 volts. Guys, this is awesome. 121 I saw. That is so cool, guys. Oh my gosh, it's so cool. So cool. Matter of fact, let's turn off the DC and see if we can get it any higher. So now the DC's off, and 120, 120. Okay, so it's steady. So that's what's nice about it, guys. That's what's nice. And what I'll do is I'll add something to this video. Give me a second. I'm going to put a little bit of a load on it, and we can watch this in real time. But this is an upgrade, guys. Wow. And then I'll show you one negative thing about this, but there's lots of positives about that. Give me 1 second. I have to get a little heater or something just to draw some power out of here. Give me 1 second. Sorry to wait. Okay, so here I have that trusty dusty 400 watt heater that I always use for all these tests, because it's good to know what power you're using. That way you can kind of pre-know the results, you know, what to expect. So let's just plug this in randomly here. Okay, we're gonna plug that in there. And now this is a 400 watt heater, guys, and look at it, drop down to 119. So now we're using, let's see, we're using almost 700 watts, guys. And if you do the math of that, notice that it's about 700 watts for approximately 10 hours. Do the math on that, that's 7 kilowatts of power. That's normal when you have 8 kilowatts of power. You don't always get perfect power. It's like the gas to your engine. You don't get a perfect conversion. You're going to lose with heat, friction, all kinds of stuff with a car. With this, you're going to lose off heat, cables, cords, all kinds of transmission, just all kinds of stuff. But now look at that, guys. I got 119 volts from a Pecron system that was normally 110. So this is something, like I said, that I don't recommend you guys doing at all. If you open your system, you will probably void your warranty. So that's a big thing to think about before you go tinkering inside anything that you bought. But you know, if you're out of the warranty and you have a little bit of knowledge to play with electricity, which is a very, very dangerous, if not extremely deadly industry, if you will, don't play games with that, guys. If you don't know how to do it, do not do it. All right, so let's double check. You know me. Oh, the negative. Now here's the drawback, guys. I used to get, because I promised you a negative with this. So I used to get about 7.2 kilowatts average from the entire system when I had 110 volts. Now, because the voltage went up, you're using extra power to get that higher voltage by about, well, right now it's about 11 volts higher than what it was, right, with the same battery stack. So when I was getting 7.2 before, I can expect, as the meter showed, about 7 kilowatts. So I'm going to lose about 200 more watts approximately of power, because remember, I'm pushing the gas pedal a little bit more. So when you're on the freeway, if you're doing 110 and you push it to 120, you're making the engine work harder, hotter, and faster. So you're making the system work hotter, faster, and more power to get that voltage up. But it's worth it, guys, because now I feel comfortable running sensitive equipment on this with the pure sine inverter that's inside here already and at 120 volts. So very, very expensive sound equipment does not like 110 volts sometimes. It all depends on what you have. If you have an average board, it might be fine. But if you have very high quality sound equipment and you're playing with $100,000 boards, and setups are $500,000 or $1 million. I've been in buildings where the sound equipment is like, holy cow, 1 million times more than my home. So it's amazing, to be able to hook something like that to a system like this. Not saying this one particular, but the opportunity if it arises for an emergency. That means medical equipment now runs better on better voltage, right? There's no UPS though in the system, guys. The new one, the E2000LFP, does have a UPS, and that's a very, very important thing when it comes to medical equipment. You have to have it with the UPS, because you don't want this bad boy shutting off on you. You just don't, because that could lead to a very bad day, obvious. But yeah, so look at this, 120, and then I'm gonna double, triple confirm that, guys. You ready? Okay, let's see. So let's plug one in here. We'll do let's see where to go. Oh, it was on there already, so it's saved. Okay, look at that, guys. And now this one is a little bit more accurate as far as it has the 1/10 of a point, where this one, if you look at it, it only has a guesstimation. So that's why you'll see it fluctuate from 120 to 121, because it's probably in reality 120.5, and then it goes up and down. So this one here, as you see, look at 121.5. So my guess was pretty good. 0.4, 0.3. You see how it fluctuates? That's what voltage does. So the more you use power, the more this fluctuates. Okay. The only thing I haven't tested yet is a full system load, which if I can find, I don't know where my heater is. It's in the other room, but and believe me, I'm testing this before I trust it 100%, because anytime you open electronics, you want to make sure that you put it back together correctly, especially when you don't have a degree in this. I don't, guys. I'm not an engineer, but I do have a few opinions here, so that helps me. So now notice that these vary a little bit. It's almost like they're very close, but they have different opinions, and that's what I like. I like everything in life. I like at least two opinions, because this person could be wrong. This person could be wrong. But when you take multiple opinions and you figure, that's what a channel is, guys. Multiple opinions will say, hey, the majority says that it's going to be this one, or it could be both. As you see, for a second there, they were the same. So opinions matter. That's the whole point of a channel, guys. But I'm so stoked that I have a 120 volt system. I paid $4,500 from Pecron for this entire system. That's a lot of money for me. It's a lot of money for anybody, I think. And I wanted it because I had a certain purpose in mind, which was to power my workshop. Everyone's going to have a different want and a different need when it comes to power stations. You might want to make toast in the middle of the woods. Who knows what goes through your mind and what you need is power for. You might want to have an electric blanket while you camp, so you need a small power station. You know, it's what you need it for. You know, don't just rush out and buy you know, $1 million system because, ooh, look at the power. You might never need it. You might never use it. It's nice to have it for an emergency, but you might never use it. So you're better off looking for a system that fits your needs. Now, usually, of what I learned is when you buy a system, I bought a 640 watt hour, the Mylon. I think that's the first system that I bought. To my recollection, that's the first one. That black one with the power delivery port I showed in the last video. And what happened was I wanted to run sound equipment outside at an event for 3 hours. That was my goal. That was my goal in life with solar. So what I was able to do is I figured, well, if I keep the sound equipment down to about 150 watts to 200, you know, just enough to hear the entrances for people, or, you know, car show kind of music, you know, just background music, that worked perfect. But then, guys, you start adding subs in, and there goes your wants and needs. Now, so my wants and needs went from 3 hours of power to 150 watts, which that delivered. I got 550 watt hours out of that box, okay? About 85% battery capacity out of that little box. So I got what I needed when I needed it. However, like I said, I added two 18-inch subs with a 3,000 watt amp peak. So obviously you're not going to use 3,000 watts. But what that did is that put the spikes up to 700, 800, even 1,000 when the bass hits. And that system could not handle the subs. So, of course, I looked at the Oukitel. Then I went from the Oukitel to the E2000LFP. So, you know, depending on what you need, your wants and needs may change literally overnight. Mine did. I know mine did. Because I was like, darn, now I have to buy another power station and run the subs off that. So instead of buying two small ones, I bought a bigger one, which was the Oukitel. Now that ran fine. I could run a show for, you know, easily 5, 6, 7 hours, no problem. I have solar coming in, not a problem. But of course, you know, then your updates in your brain go, man, I wanna see if I can run my entire workshop with one of these bad boys. And now, you know what? It's being done. So wowie, wowie, wowie. Okay, well, I'm gonna cut this one short, guys. I know it's long already, and I apologize. Ramble Bob, that's my name. You picked on the video. You should have known. But thank you, Pecron, again for sending me this board. I really appreciate it. And I also found another piece of information very quickly about the 65 watt USB-C, guys. So it's not the board you have to swap to get the 100 watts. You have to update the firmware. Now that I don't know how to do. I did not see any place inside for a USB drive or a stick or a thumb drive or something like that. So obviously Pecron has to go in one of their terminal ports or whatever that's in there and do it. I don't know how to do that. I'm okay with the 65 watts. I wish I had 100, but I'm okay with it. You know, I'm a little disappointed that was 65, but because of these videos, now all your you know, the power stations you guys get are going to be 100 watts. So that's cool. So at least you guys get where I fell down. But yeah, I do got my 120. I'm so happy. So happy, guys. All right, ramble on. Be safe, guys. Hope nothing but positivity in your lives, guys. Think positive, and then you will do positive. All right, guys, ramble on. Be safe, and I'll see you next time on Ramblin Bob Reviews. Bye, guys.